I didn't fill this one because you could go all the way through, and it just kind of would let some light come through if I wanted to put some LEDs or something back there. And these didn't go all the way through, so there was a good basement. I didn't have to worry about stuff dripping through to the other side, so it was kind of natural. And this one kind of the same way. This one had a connection with the outside, and so I wanted to leave it. And this all just live edge stuff that had to have the bark peeled off. Some more of there. And on the back side, I just peeled the bark and didn't do much else other than sanding. Lots and lots of sanding.
What do you finish it with?
Tungwall varnish, just one coat so far. It needs one more coat. I like to sand between coats, and it makes it a little smoother. Right now it's 220 rough, kind of like almost raised grain, and it needs another 320 rubbed down to it, and then another coat of Tungwall varnish.
What did you use it for?
I haven't used it for anything yet. I just kind of used it as a centerpiece for this table. Kind of looks good as a centerpiece. And so I was doing it the same thing inside my house, just kind of a centerpiece on a big table. This table's 18 feet long, but it also looks good on a 12-footer.
This thing's huge. What does this end up dimensions being?
It's about 28 wide and about 4.5 inches tall. And it's 3 inches deep.
So, is this the biggest thing you've turned?
One of them. Yeah, I have turned some bigger stuff, but nothing in burl in the solid piece. The other one was a glue up for a coffee table. I turned a 36 inch a couple times. It was 15 inches deep. It's a monster.
Does it make you want to get back into turning more?
The more I do these, it does. And in fact, now when I'm looking around at my wood pile back there, I'm thinking, oh, I see another few pieces that are worthy of this kind of size. You just have to think, what are you going to do with them after you make them? You know, I have a few. Oh yeah, they are. If you find someone that wants to buy one, you know, everything's sellable. But main thing is to make yourself happy. You know, I have a couple places around the house I can put these, and I'm not ashamed to give my work away. You know, my daughter just left with like 15 pieces, 20 pieces, heading back to Seattle. I'm going to go back up there and see how she's rearranged the house since she got so much extra furniture from me. It's nice to see some people appreciating your work. You know, when my work first started, these kids were just babies, and I'm sure it was just a method to get out of changing diapers or whatnot. Now that they're older, I've just kept doing it, and it just keeps me entertained. You know, you don't make the same thing all the time, or you get way bored. And my genre has been furniture because I always had terrible furniture, and so once I got so I could have my own tools, I decided to make furniture. And my first choices weren't very good choices. You know, I went through ball and claw leg furniture, and I really had a thing for antiques, so I made a few things that looked like antiques. It's harder than it looks, but I ended up giving those away or using them for toolboxes or whatever. And you know, you kind of work towards the goals that you have in mind.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate enough to seek out ways to sell furniture, and I just kept looking until I called had my wife call around to her friends, and you know, like this 6 steps from Kevin Bacon, 6 degrees, yeah, 6 degrees from Kevin Bacon. You end up with somebody that knows somebody, and that person was very helpful to get my foot in the door in a San Francisco furniture store. And then another furniture store just popped up, and so there hadn't been great success there, but just getting your stuff in there is a personal achievement, I think. In my case, it was. I felt great satisfaction knowing that my work was in there, and so it wasn't a real financial success because the furniture market is really tough in San Francisco right now, and retail is really suffering. People are moving out and moving in, but it's kind of in flux. This material just became available in the last couple of weeks. You know, as soon as it was, I thought, dry enough to work with, I wanted to work with it. In fact, I have enough material, I was just looking at it a few minutes ago, that I can make several big bowls like this. Maybe not this deep, but on that scale.
How much turquoise do you have left? Because you get this from a mine, right?
I get this from a person that was a friend of mine from the beekeeping business, and he has a jewelry business. And this is all the pieces that fall in the cutoff tray, while he has skilled laborers making silver jewelry and turquoise. They have to keep cutting stones in order to fit it in the parameters of their jewelry. So the stones come in all different sizes, so you get all different sizes that you have to fit into their particular size. That means lots of cuts. A certain number of spots available on my carts that I like to keep full, and that gives me a kind of a showroom appeal. When you're looking for a table, you want to find a selection, not just have somebody able to make you one. You want to lay your hands on something. I'm getting old, and 12 feet may be as much as I want to do now. You know, we'll see. I have some 18-foot boards out there. Don't tempt me. You know, my knees are not too good, but I'm enthusiastic still. So I'm due for a knee replacement one of these days. Pretty excited about this one. This is going to be a good table. I might cut this little extra extension off, but it gives it some uniqueness.
So on something like this, where do you put butterflies?
Butterflies will go along that side.
Like how many?
A lot. Probably 7. Yeah, 7. You get these white lines when you first open up a log, when you first cut deep into a dry piece of wood. These are eventually going to become amber, but they look really dashing in their white scope. All this white here turns amber, and the reddish color here fades into brown. There's still the distinction in the colors, because the colors are great, but they won't stay white like that. None of the ones on the carts you see are white. It's just, it's freshly open wood that hasn't oxidized yet. It'll oxidize a little bit darker than that.
Nice.
Yeah, like 11 or 12, yeah. And it doesn't have 7 butterflies either, does it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it has 7. Who knew? Yeah, I think this one's going to be thicker than this one, though.
If you like the videos, please subscribe. It helps me do more videos and bring more content to more users. Thank you.